Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Imagination Station podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about the art of daydreaming. We all have different ways of seeing the world, based off of where you were born and how you were raised, affect who you are. The people around you form your future because they're who you learn from, who taught you how to think. Everyone's perspective is as unique as their own fingerprint. And to copy it, you not only need to know everything about their upbringing, but also understand their mind and all the reasons behind every decision. Our perspective is lensed by what we were taught and what makes us comfortable, but also by pain and hard lessons. If there's one thing we all want, it's change, but that's not always up to us. Things don't always turn out the way we want, a lot, and we get hurt. As we get older, general frustration seems and feels more stressful because we're older and understand the world more. We want more changes, but sometimes you're stuck feeling empty because nothing's happening. The world feels slower than ever. Then you have an idea. It seems creative and you like it and start to build a story off of it. Making new characters, friendships, relationships. You go through tragedy and laugh your head off within the story and feel these attachments that have been growing on you ever since you had the idea. Usually, daydreams are more commonly associated with dozing off. Neither really here or there, just thinking about something you'll probably forget tomorrow, which I think is the most typical form. But as kids, our imagination is bursting. Rewinding the time can help us understand where the love of imaginative story building first starts. Do you still remember plots and scenes you used to act out with Barbies or action figures? What about imaginary friends? The highlight of my day when I was a kid was making music videos with my Barbies or imagining being a secret spy who breaks out of school to save the world. Unfortunately, I was left alone a lot growing up, and to cope, I slowly started forming my own worlds instead of just momentary daydreams. Now I was spending every day running from the police, time traveling, singing at concerts, and meeting alternate versions of myself and my paras from other universes. And because it was all in my mind, there was no limit to how crazy things could get, which inspired me to keep world building and keep making stories. Not only that, but it was protected under a safe locking key, my head. I had no idea what I was doing. In fact, I tried to ask my friends if they did it too, and the answer was absolutely not, but I figured someone had to be like me. I wouldn't figure out its name, immersive or maladaptive daydreaming, until I was 17. But when does daydreaming get toxic for your health? Maladaptive daydreaming happens when you're unable to focus on necessary things in your day-to-day life because of your paracosm, or daydreaming world. Daydreaming is good for your creativity, and we honestly can't live without the ability, but daydreaming about very intense scenarios for long periods of times gives you a rush of chemicals to your brain. Happy scenarios give you serotonin and endorphins. Serotonin can be also released when we play video games. It's thought to regulate mood, happiness, and anxiety. Low levels of serotonin are linked to depression, while increased levels of the hormone may decrease arousal. Endorphins cause a really good mood, also euphoric, and provide energy to go an extra mile, decreasing the feeling of being tired. It's a very important chemical. Because when we were living in the Stone Age, endorphins saved our life because it kept us going in spite of being tired and hungry. Deficiency of endorphins can cause mood swings. Deficiency of endorphins can cause mood swings and extreme contrasting emotions. It's released with physical exercises and movement. Romantic or sexual scenarios will give you oxytocin. This is the chemical that gets released when you kiss, hug, or keep eye contact with another person. It's also known as the love hormone. Dopamine is the reward hormone. This doesn't make us happy, but it makes us do things or be determined. So, for example, with games, it causes us to want to start playing a specific game and then want to keep playing it. It is released before receiving a reward or achieving a goal. I commonly associate this when you get to a certain part of your scene or scenario or plot that you've been waiting to get to act out. that gives you that daydreamer's high. What rewards do we enjoy the most? When we know that we will get something, but we don't know exactly what it will be like loot drops. Expected and deserved, when we know exactly what we're getting our reward for, so the reward is well deserved and meaningful, especially making us unique. I think this is deeply rooted in why maladaptive daydreaming is so addictive. We will repeat a scenario we already created months ago every day until we're tired of remembering it, because not only is it exciting, but it makes us feel good. Something I've talked about before was the daydreamer's high, which is basically when a daydream scenario or plot is reaching its main conflict or climax of the scene or story. Listening to fast-paced music and pacing the floor or rocking really hype it up as well. When this happens, there's usually a lot of body movements or jerks. You're mouthing the dialogue, you're thinking about it, and it's intense to the point of screaming. But no actual sound ever really leaves your mouth. These feelings of overcoming huge conflicts or battles, raising a family or falling in love, or being in charge or needed, completely steal you away from reality, at least for a little while. But needing to return to reality leaves you feeling almost empty. When you're in a fog trying to remember your middle name, wishing you didn't kind of need to. And it hurts too. It's obvious some things in the world won't change for a long time, and there's nothing we can really do about it but wait and improve ourselves and what's around us as much as we can while we're here. If you have these daydreams you're immersed in with characters or pairs you love and don't want to be detached from, no one should take that away from you. But you could hurt yourself in the process with toxic and malevolent daydreams, or doing it too much, or developing too many triggers. Some of us started daydreaming out of boredom and never had any issues. Some were hurt and developed extreme scenarios. Some of us were neglected and had days worth of plot. However you got here, you've made a little firelight in the form of a story you created for yourself in your mind. The important part is not to scorch your brain with toxicity, because it picks up everything and builds patterns based off of what you throw in it all the time. So how about we all take our pairs out for a nice dinner? I'm looking at you. Just kidding. Stay hydrated and safe daydreaming, everyone.